Hello everybody and welcome to DRL TV. Tonight I am your host, James Pandolf. With me as always is Martin Wenzel. How are you doing today, Martin?
Doing alright.
Alright, tonight, yeah, hopefully he'll be back soon. Tonight we're here at Dover for the DRL iRacing Cup Series. We're going to be doing 200 laps here at the 1 mile concrete oval. Right now we are underway with qualifying and Ryan Hesgaard is currently sitting on the pole. However, we do have over 3 minutes remaining in qualifying as anything can happen. During practice, Chris Lucky ran the fastest time with a 22.224. Gonna hope for a great day out of him. He's been pretty consistent over the last 10 races. Tonight here at Dover, who are you looking forward to watching, Martin?
Yeah, I mean, we got today, interested to see what Caden Honeycutt does. I mean, he's coming out. He hasn't been here the last few weeks. Same with, where'd he go? Logan McAnally. I think he missed the last couple weeks. So, some of those drivers that we haven't seen in a little bit. Still missing Anthony Burrows. That's a big name. Eric Wolf not showing up tonight. But Anthony Burrows has missed the last few races. And I'm hoping he gets back out on the track. We got a lot of non-points drivers tonight as we open up the series to fill out the field. Ryan Hesgaard has dropped into second in qualifying. Joseph Pelt now in first. But Ryan Hesgaard, one of those guys. Ryan Hesgaard, Edwards, Phil Edwards. What else we got? Gary Cronenwet, James Lorello, Richard Springer.
Yeah.
Lemon, yeah, quite a few guys, Getty Buckner, quite a few guys who are Grand National regulars running up here to help fill out the field because Cup guys still not showing up. Still a little disappointed with the new package, I suppose.
Yeah, package is one of the big reasons, as well as school. Coming to spring, you now have baseball, which a lot of these drivers happen to play baseball for their high school teams, like Anthony Burrows. That's why he's not been able to show up. But yeah, you're absolutely right. These lower guys, the Grand National and the Truck Series drivers, they got this opportunity to come up here to the Cup Series and show what they got and prove that they belong up here in the 2020 season. As we ride along board with Richard Springer, he's currently 13th here in qualifying, as he does a little burnout entering turn 1 to return to the pits. We also have on track Jim Westerfield, who, if I can pull him up real quick, entering turn 3 and 4 now, currently 11th. Let's see if he'll be able to improve his time as he crosses the start-finish line. Looks like he does not. He's currently sitting 12th with a 22.528. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, one of those drivers who likes to start in the rear of the field, as he's going to cross the line with 3 seconds left in qualifying. Alright, so here it is, the final results. Logan is going to be a pole sitter here tonight, as the field's going to get ready to grid for 200 laps here at Dover. Let's see if we can pull in our pole sitter for an interview. Hey Logan, this is the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you came back after we'll call it mechanical issues at Talladega, breaking your brake pedal. Glad to see you back on the track. You came back with a vengeance as you're currently the pole sitter here for tonight's race. How's the car feel? How's the setup feel? Are you looking forward to tonight?
Feels good. I've been running a lot of practice this week, so to see it pay off, it's pretty good.
as I mentioned, you did break your brake pedal. Did you just fold that bad boy on there, or did you get a whole new pedal set?
Nah, I put the clutch pedal where the brake pedal is and sent it.
Alrighty, man. Well, wish you luck here tonight, and we'll hopefully talk to you at the end.
10-4, thank you.
And that was our pole sitter here for tonight's race as the field is finally pulling up onto the track, and we're going to get ready to go racing.
I wouldn't want to have to deal with that. I don't know how I would be able to change the pedals on this thing. And to go from just, I'm assuming now he's doing paddle shifting or something if he's moved his clutch to where the brake pedal was, because now he doesn't have a clutch, I would assume. I don't know how I'd be able to handle that, despite the fact that I probably do, now in real life have an automatic transmission in the car, but I like to have that capability of shifting with the stick while driving these racing cars.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to be able to do tonight, especially coming on pit road, going from this bank surface all the way down to that flat pit road entrance, going 35 miles per hour. It's going to be very interesting to see how he does. As the pace car pulls off, Logan's going to bring him to the field, and we are green flag racing here at Dover.
Yeah, it's a wheel spin. We see all the wheel spin. We didn't talk about that before, but a lot of guys are going to have wheel spin. Logan McAnally, he's got the advantage of that he knows when he's taking off. Saw Joseph Pelt drop back, loses 2 positions, falls back to 4th. He had some wheel spin there, kind of bunched up the field behind him. And there was some wheel spin on the inside line as well, but didn't catch the number. So it's Logan McAnally and Wade Eastat with a nice gap over Chris Lucky, and now Joseph Pelt.
As you see here, Mike Spring is currently on pit road, 35 seconds of counting. I'm not sure what's wrong with his vehicle. And Jim Westfield looks like he just ended pits as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try to take a look here. It looks like he just, I don't know, he never left pit road. He just started in the pits, Mike Springer. Jim Westerfield. Let's see what happened to Jim Westerfield.
As we see right here, we have a 2-car breakaway with the 88 and the 32. And then we have a nice group of cars back here led by Chris Lucky, then Joseph Pelt, and John Theodore is currently rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Jim Westerfield. He went down the pits. Maybe he got a black flag. I'm going to go back and look at the...
Mike Springer is finally out on track.
Yeah, it looks like probably Jim Westerfield got a black flag, which I think he should have gotten cleared because the 75 spun his tires in front of him and was basically stopped on the track, and everyone on the inside line had to go around him. And it looks like Jim Westerfield was the only one to have to pay a penalty, so his race control wasn't going to clear that. He had to come down for a drive-through. But him and Mike Springer are now on the track. Springer, just started in the pits, maybe just missed the grid.
As we see here, Thomas Harmon is side by side with John Theodore, and Eric Hutton is now going to make a move, trying to take that 6th spot away from Thomas Harmon.
Yeah, these tough guys, they're pushing the car to the edge. But with this new package, it's a little bit stickier. You're not going to see as much, you shouldn't see as many guys wiping out coming out of turn 2 and turn 4, which is usually something we see at Dover in any of the cars. But the new Cup package, just a little bit more grip for these guys on these short tracks. So I think we'll still at some point see a guy wipe out, but that's just because these Cup drivers, they push the car right to the edge. They push it trying to find that line and cross it. Get as much speed as they can.
And as we all know, Dover's pretty famous for, if there's a wreck, it's generally going to be a big one with these high bank corners. All the cars just sweep down to the inside line, collecting anybody who's coming up on them. And I myself did not do any A races this week, but as we saw in real life, these cars were going at least 10 plus miles per hour faster through the corners than they were in previous years. I'm not quite sure if that's the same exact thing here on iRacing, but these cars definitely do have a lot more grip. As we see, everybody's currently working the bottom lane. Nobody's really trying to work the middle of the higher lane yet, as we are only 10 laps into tonight's race.
Yeah, I don't know what the speed usually was going through the turns, but there definitely is more grip. I don't think there was a single point during the races I ran this week where I felt like I was going to lose it coming out of four, which is something you're always thinking about at this track. This year I didn't really think about it at all, and probably had my cleanest races in weeks. I think I might have had a 4X all week, and that was because someone smashed in me when on a restart when guys spun their tires and kind of just had to hold up, and everyone in back just ran you over then. Well, not my fault.
As you see,
we'll still see that wheel spin.
as we see here, Caden Honeycutt and Chris Luckley currently battling for that fourth position. Joseph Helt was able to break away. He's got about a second advantage over fourth place.
Now I'm watching Eric Hutton, going into the turns. The gap between him and the 27 of John Theodore gets really close. Theodore is taking those turns a little bit deeper. Now that one, Hutton kind of went up a little bit high. He's almost inviting John Theodore to get in there. Theodore not so good off the turn, and so he's going to get passed by Thomas Harmon.
Yeah, and possibly Ryan Hesgard too if he's not careful. Ryan Hesgard with a bright orange paint scheme. Normally we see him in darker colors, repping the S2R Silent Syndicate Racing.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much of that is. Again, I don't know how much of our paints are matching between you and me, even because trading paints today is just it seems to just be downloading random stuff. But I guess we're both seeing, yeah, Hesgard's running the Bass Pro Shops paint. I like that, but I'm assuming that's maybe an old paint he used to run.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him.
S2R, but never know. I know there are some other guys that I don't think the scheme I'm seeing is what they are actually running, but it is what it is. Trading paints isn't always perfect. Gives us some random crap sometimes.
And as we go back to 11th, 12th place, James Lorello finally getting by Gary Cronenwet for 12th. He's going to try to make a move on John Mullins to try to take 11th place away from him.
Yeah, I really like James Lorello's new, that bright yellow and orange kind of flame scheme from S2R. That's another guy. I mean, this is a group right here, right behind John Mullins. Whoa, Lorello is going to go in deep. He gets bumper to the 64.
Yeah, I thought that was going to get ugly.
Yeah, with the 3 and the 10 and the 75 and the 38, those 4 cars, actually those 5 cars, all going to be working their way around John Mullins here. They're all great.
Oh, we got Ryan Hesgard spinning. Oh, big one. He gets into Lorello.
And that's going to collect all those guys I was just talking about. He just collected all those Grand National guys. Lorello, Cronenwet did not hit Mullins. So the Cup guy got by, and he took out that's 6 Grand National drivers, all with damage.
Let's go back to replay here. We got Ryan Hesgard coming off turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, and it looks like he just got loose, sent into the grass in turn 3, and just comes back up. Nothing he could really do there.
As I said, I don't think we're gonna see it as much, but the way these guys are driving, just pushing it as hard as they can. And it's just kind of funny. I was talking about those Grand National guys driving there.
Let's see if we can get a cockpit view of that.
Yeah, Hesgard hits all those guys except for Buckner. Getty was able to get down, kind of go into the grass, into the apron. But he took out all of those Cup guys, or those Grand National drivers right behind him.
And he goes for a wild spin once he gets back up on the track.
I'm going to say that's some good luck by John Mullins. Mullins did not hit that at all. And Hesgard just snagged the 10 right behind behind the bumper of Mullins as he was turning that spin around. So, yeah, I mean, that's Hesgaard. He's trying to lock it down. There's just not much you can do once you lose control. And that was him just coming out of 2, lost control. And that's the danger zone. That's turn 2, turn 4. You get out, hit the gas, and spin the tires, and you got nothing.
And it looks like Ryan Hesgaard is done for the night.
Yeah, James Lorello also stepping out. So we just mentioned Lorello looking good in that car, but we're not going to see him or Hesgaard on the track for the rest of this time. Both those guys, it's not the end of the world for them, of course. This is just an extra race for them to run each week. We'll see them back here tomorrow night in the Grand National Series.
It does affect people like Gary Cronenway, who... I'm sorry, Gary is actually not a points driver for the Cup Series.
Yeah, nobody in that crash was. That's not going to hurt anybody in this series because John Mullins was the only guy around that. Well, behind Hesgaard was Thomas Harmon, but
he was able to get through.
That group already got past as Hesgaard was on the grass, and then Hesgaard comes back up on the track right in front of that group that was around John Mullins. And I was saying, those 5 drivers around John Mullins were all Grand National guys, and all of them hit Hesgaard except for Geddy Buckner, who was able to get down to the apron and avoid that. And Buckner is sitting in 11th, so he's a big winner out of all that. And he clears out, I think there were 4 or 5 cars. He gained about 4 or 5 positions because those 5 guys were all in front of him that are now down with damage or have stepped out of their cars.
Yeah, very lucky for Geddy Buckner. He's going to look to continue his hot streak he's had in the Grand National Series. He's going to try to bring it over to the Cup Series. As we see Bill Edwards and Gary Cronenway back to pit road.
Yeah, they were the bottom 3 guys on the lead lap. Bill Edwards, Gary Cronenway, Mike Lemon. And then right after them is James Lorello and Ryan Hesgaard. Mike Springer sandwiched in there 3 laps down as well. But all those guys were collected in that incident, bringing out the yellow. But our drivers are double filed.
Yep, getting ready to go back racing here. One driver I did not notice is not running is the 26th of Steven Turner. It looks like he pulled over or didn't grid.
Yeah, I think he had computer issues, so he's going to step out. Yeah, it's a little upsetting that we just aren't getting these bigger fields than we were expecting. A lot of big names from last year, like Hunter Johnson. We haven't seen him a lot this season. Again, Anthony Burrows, you're saying he's got other commitments going on. So it's just guys are a lot fewer guys showing up every week.
And here we go. Pace car is off the track. Logan's going to bring him back to the green flag racing.
And just watching any wheel spin.
Ooh, looks like Logan wheel spin, and Wade Houston is going to take advantage here, and he's going to snag the lead as well as Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting development right there, where McAnally takes off. Usually the wheel spin happens right when you take off. He took off, had it going, and then he just lost it and falls back to 3rd. I was watching John Theodore a little bit further back. I think he was just taking it really easy to avoid the wheel spin. There are a couple ways you can avoid that. Is to just ease onto the accelerator, or if you do want to gut it, start in 3rd gear or short shift to 3rd gear.
And we have the 78 of Eric Hutton taking 5th place away from Joseph Helt.
We got a battle for the lead, though. Wade Hustad and Caden Honeycutt side by side. Honeycutt's got the low side. Keeps it down there. And again, in prior years, I think the 37 would have had a lot more trouble just pinning that down because coming out of the turn can get really loose if you're still turning the wheel.
Absolutely, and as they say, side by side entering turn 3, this is gonna open the door for the 88 to try to get back in there and take what was his on the restart, which is the lead.
Yeah, nice three-car battle right now. And then we have to go back about probably 0.8 of a second, it looks like now. Chris Lucky and Eric Hutton driving around in 4th and 5th, and a little bit further back, Joseph Helton, Thomas Harmon, John Theodore, John Mullins, and then Getty Buckner round out the top 10.
Yep, Getty Buckner getting lucky, missing that wreck that had occurred, and now he currently sits in 10th.
And a little bit of about a second gap between him and the 11th place car, Richard Lucky. So it's a short track, but we're seeing a little bit of spread out. Close racing in packs. Everything gets about 3 or 4 car packs, and otherwise it gets spread out, little gaps between each of them. As Eric Hutton makes the inside move to pass Chris Lucky for 4th. Ooh, and 37 puts a bumper on the 32. We saw a little bit of that in the real NASCAR race.
Yeah, these guys are fighting for it, and he looks to the inside now. He's going to be side by side with Wade Hustad. I could not quite get it. He might have bobbled there off the corner. Wade Hustad is going to take advantage, and he's going to clear him entering turn 3.
Yeah, Wade Hustad, I believe he's the points leader, right?
Yes, he is.
Points leader. And he hasn't had the most luck this season either, so it just goes to show how good a driver he is, that he's still leading points despite, remember him being in a few big wrecks this season already.
Yeah, last week at Talladega wasn't very friendly for him. He got caught up in a big one early. As we see Logan now making a move to take that lead from Wade Hustad. He's putting a lot of pressure on the back of Wade.
Yeah, McAnally's got a win this season. I believe, I don't have the standings pulled in front of me, but I think Wade has 1 or 2. I think he just got only 1.
I'll pull him up right now. Currently, points leader Wade Hustad has 1 win on the season.
Yeah, he did just get that 1 win recently. I think it was Richmond.
Thomas Harmon in 2nd place, 28 points back, also has a win. We'll have to go down to 5th place in the standings. Chris Lucky, who's the next one, with also another win. Yeah, that fuel mileage win, that was very nicely done by Chris Lucky. And then the first person with multiple wins on the season is Logan in the 88, who, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he had mechanical problems with his brake pedal. Missed a few races, otherwise he'd be up there battling for that points lead. But I'm looking forward to seeing him in the playoffs. He's going to be a strong contender for sure.
Yeah, he's coming in. He's having a great rookie season. Caden Honeycutt is still, I don't think he's had a win in the Cup Series. Not this season for sure, but I don't recall him winning last year at all, but definitely looking for something today.
If he can put a full race together, we can see Caden win multiples for sure. And then Anthony Burroughs has 4 wins this season. However, his absenteeism is kind of hurting his chances to make the playoffs, because you do have to make a certain amount of races in the regular series to be eligible for the playoffs. And Anthony Burroughs is currently riding that line to get in.
Well, I believe that percentage is to get in on wins. So I mean, Burroughs could do what Eric Wolf did last year. Wolf didn't make the percentage, so his win did not get him in, but he was still able to somehow sneak in on points. Now that might still be a possibility this season, just due to the low attendance numbers. I don't think as the season started that would have been possible to sneak in on points with under 80% attendance, but it's still very possible this year.
Yeah, we still have 16 races left in the regular season.
Yeah, he's got time. And
oh, Logan sliding up the track, almost gets into the 32.
And he's gonna, he kind of got loose then coming out of the turn.
Let's go.
Nice gap.
Let's go on board with Logan and see how much he's up on the wheel as they head into turn 1 here.
Right behind them, Eric Hutton just making a huge move. He's right on the bumper of the 37 now, Caden Honeycutt. Putting a 2-second gap between him and Chris Lucky in 5th. So Eric Hutton making some moves. They just passed Gary Cronenwet, who is now down 13 laps, involved in that first caution of the day.
As you can see, Eric trying to get below Caden Honeycutt. He might give him a little bump here. He's going to try the high side now in 3 and 4. Look at Eric dive it down to the bottom, trying to get the best run he can, as he's going to look to the inside of Caden, now entering turn 1.
Ooh. Yeah, I think Caden wanted to get down, then Caden made the right choice there. He saw that the 78 had gotten his nose in there. He could have put the car down, but it would have taken him and the 78 out.
Yeah, I'm sure Caden knows there's almost 160 laps left in the race. There's plenty of time to get that position back.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard racing between these now it's these top 4 guys with some hard racing. And yeah, like you said, we have now we got about 158 laps left. It's a long way to go. And the way they're battling in these top 4 cars, though, you'd think they were in the last 20.
As we go deeper in the field, we see that Gary Buckner has gotten by John Mullins. That was for 9th, and now he's going to stalk the 27 of John Theodore and the 02 of Joseph Pelt.
And Thomas Harmon ahead of them in 6th place. So I believe the top 10 is still the same. It's just a flip between Buckner and Mullins at this point. And Eric Hutton makes the move past Caden Honeycutt. And that battle between Honeycutt and Lucky has widened the gap for Wade Hustad and Logan McAnally in front of them. And then Chris Lucky has been able to get a little bit closer now to the 37, who is dropping back. Only about a half-second gap.
And then we do have that lap car in the mix, Gary Cronenwet.
Yep. And even he looks I think he looks a little bit more comfortable than Honeycutt right now. Honeycutt might just be, his tires might be worn out, because he's been doing a lot of battling.
Going back to the lead, it looks like Logan has not been able to catch up to Wade Hustad. It looks like maybe just settling in, trying to conserve his stuff, as we have been green for quite a while now.
Yeah, it starts to get to the point where you can't really close the gap, your tires are getting worn out, and if you overdrive it, you're just going to burn your stuff up, and that gap's just going to get wider naturally. So he did close the gap a little bit. He took a 10th off on that lap.
Looks like he's trying the high line, trying to find some grip somewhere on this track. Picked off another 10th there.
Going back to 4th place, and Caden Honeycutt drops the inside line. Chris Lucky taking the outside. Chris Lucky moving as Honeycutt's dropping back in the field. Honeycutt lets him go.
Yeah, it looks like Caden's really loose. Something might be wrong with this car.
And that was a little bit of, I got worried there because it looked like Honeycutt let off and the 10 almost got into him, because I don't think the 10 was expecting such a slowdown. The 10 is going to pull off now.
Looks like he's just letting that lead group by.
Yeah, he's just letting them by.
Very smart move by him.
Not sure why exactly, but because he was kind of just running that same speed, maybe he's just not feeling comfortable with a whole bunch of cars coming up on him.
Yeah, with the way that Caden was getting loose, he probably just felt better to just let everybody by, let them rack out.
He doesn't want to be the guy that has to make an evasive move and then cause a caution.
And especially being a non-points driver.
Yeah, well, the blame's going to fall on him. They're going to be like, hey, the lap car caused it. Like, maybe it wasn't the lap car, maybe it was the 37 getting loose, but
as Thomas Harmon's going to take a peek to the inside of Caden Honeycutt. This will be for 5th place.
Yeah, Honeycutt just dropping back. He had a great restart there, battling for the lead with Hustad after they flew past McAnally with some wheel spin. And now he's falling back, fading away, trying to hang on to 5th, but I think Harmon is going to get probably a run going into turn 3.
And there he goes. He's going to look to the inside. This might open the door for Joseph Hell as well.
Yeah, Honeycutt's going to, I think, it looks like Honeycutt was going to try to let off and maybe just tuck in there, but not enough room, and so he's going to stay on the outside and battle Harmon for a little bit.
And there goes Joseph Hell to the inside as well. Caden Honeycutt's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, he wanted to get back down. The problem was that Joseph Held was already almost there. Held had to back off. 27 almost gets into his end.
Things settle down for now.
So our top 8 drivers, all Cup drivers, and we get Getty Buckner running 9th in that pink car, the pink SGK car. And then back to a bunch of Cup guys again behind them.
Richard Lucky getting by John Mullins as they exit turn 4. That is for 10th place.
Gary Cronenwet coming up behind Getty Buckner. Those guys are teammates in the Grand National Series.
Joseph Held looking to the inside of Caden Honeycutt once again. Not quite able to get it.
Yeah, now he's got to worry about the 27 trying to take that outside line past him.
He's going to try it again, entering turn 1.
He got a little bit of bumper there. Looks like 37 got a little upset.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like Joseph Hell has quite enough to get his nose to the inside to force Caden Honeycutt to the high side and allow him to at least get side by side.
Yeah, it was close that turn. Honeycutt really took it in there and slammed the door shut. We're getting to the point where there could be something between these two guys. And all it takes is Honeycutt not getting down just a hair too late. Because that's how close they are. You can see Helt's right there.
And it looks like something happened to the 88 as he's fallen off about a half second to Wade Hustad, and the 78 of Eric Hutton's going to look to reel him in and take second place away.
Yeah, he's not heavy. Damn, he must have hit the wall. I'm gonna zip back here just to see.
Oh yeah, you can see right there his right front's all crinkled up, the nose, the hood. Definitely had to have hit that wall.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where it is though, because see the crinkle.
Trying to go back to it. I don't quite see it in the live shot.
Looks like it was lap 55 going in 56 is where I'm seeing it. Because I have no crinkle, and then let's see. Yeah, he got loose and hit the wall about lap 56, but yeah, that might have been what caused it.
Yeah, Logan had to fight that car all the way down the backstretch. It's only a matter of time before Eric's able to get around him.
Oh, Getty Buckner pulls off. I think that's work related. That's why he's not up here in the booth.
That's too bad. He was having a nice top 10.
Yeah, having a nice race. But as we said, this isn't his usual night. Grand National Series is his series, and he's right there battling with Ryan Hedgard. It's basically a two-man race in that series right now, at least for points. Once the playoff comes, we'll see what happens. Everything gets reset there, but those guys are the class of the field in the Grand National Series. And both of them are now out of the race here.
As you see, Joseph Held finally going to be able to get by Caden Honeycutt, and that opens the door for Richard Lucky, who is, ooh, that's so close to Caden's back bumper. He's going to clear him here. as they head onto the backstretch.
I remember when I went to the top 10, Richard Lucky was 11th. He's now worked his way into this battle, worked his way past John Theodore, John Mullins, now Caden Honeycutt. And he's coming along for this move, along with Joseph Helt. It looks like Eric Hutton now. Eric Hutton and Logan McAnally battling. Eric Hutton actually has taken that position.
Yep, and that's going to open the door for Chris Lucky, who's actually right behind him by about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, Eric Hutton and Chris Lucky doing really well in this long run. They've climbed through the standings.
As we do have some pit takers, Taylor Butcher Benjamin and Richard Springer both in for pits. Richard Springer was actually in the pits for 34 seconds. Looks like he might have had some damage to take care of.
So the top 5 is now Hustad, Hutton, McAnally, Lucky, and Thomas Harmon. We haven't talked a lot about Thomas Harmon today. He's just sort of been in that mix. And he was right behind Hesgaard when Hesgaard got loose coming out of 2 to bring out their first caution. What was that, around lap 20? Somewhere back there. So we're...
Chris Lucky dives into the inside of Logan entering turn 1. He's going to be able to clear him as he rides up the track a little bit, but he's able to get back down to the bottom.
Yeah, he went in a little hot there to get past Logan McAnally. But McAnally, I think, is slower, has a little problems, so he's going to just let him go.
I've just received word that Getty Buckner, he had throughput and lost connection to the race. That is why he is off the track.
Really? I guess he must have disconnected before. Because usually it will drop you. You'll still see the track, and then about like half a minute later, it will disconnect you automatically.
Thomas Harmon gets by Logan. That is for 4th place.
Yeah, he must have gotten dumped and just decided to get back out. And again, I think he might be getting called into work at any point, so not the end of the world. He's been having a little issues that plagued him last week in the Grand National race, I think.
As we see here, Chris Lucky's going to dive it down below the 78. He's going to take 2nd place away. Wow, what a run for Chris.
The 77 and the 78 having a great race tonight. I can't remember exactly where they started this run, but I think it was probably around 8th or 9th. You know, it wasn't where they are now. They've moved up. A really good job conserving their stuffs. Chris Lucky, Eric Hutton, and Thomas Harmon all doing a very good job moving up through the field. And the only guy who has not had trouble is Wade Hustad, who is just running away with it right now. Almost a 2-second gap over Chris Lucky.
As we see here, it's almost a full straightaway, about half a straightaway advantage Wade Hustad has.
Hustad knows what he's doing. He's done this. He did this a number of times last year where he would just check out. Still a long way to go, but those laps quickly dropping off the counter. We're at 72. Last time I looked, we were around 50, so that's how quickly things are happening here. And Chris Lucky and Eric Hutton, I mean, they're putting themselves in a good position.
Richard Lucky just getting past Logan, that is for 5th. So both the Lucky men are in top 5s as we speak.
All these guys, Lucky, Hutton, Harmon, and Richard Lucky, all having just really good runs. Richard Lucky was way back outside of the top 10 to start this run. We see Richard Springer. I think Springer went into the pit.
Yeah, he's on fresh tires right now.
3 laps. But him and Taylor Butcher Benjamin on those fresh tires. They're going to make quick work, trying to get back as much as they can.
As we see Richard Lucky led by Taylor Butcher Benjamin.
McAnally is just trying to hang on, stay in the top 10, but he is fading really fast. That's probably that damage they caught from coming out of turn 4. Getting loose.
Yeah, one thing I noticed in the Grand National car, I know that's a completely different setup and all that, but if you get wall damage in that car, you tend to get aero pushing. It becomes a real hassle to get that thing to turn in the corners.
Alright, Taylor Butcher Benjamin's going to work his way to the inside, trying to get around the 78 and the 68. And he's going to get by, so now the 68, I think the 78 was going to let him by, and then that opens the door for the 68 to actually pass him for position. So Hutton now dropping back to 4th. He had a good run, and now he's starting to fade a little bit.
Yep, Richard Springer getting by him. He might be able to get both Harmon and Hutton in one turn. As we see the 41, Richard Lucky, and the 37 of Caden Honeycutt have come down to pits.
I was saying, Wade Hustad checked out, but Chris Lucky has actually closed that gap. It's down to about a second. Let's see what it is after they cross the start-finish line. It's a second and almost 2/10 right now. And Lucky shaves a little bit off. Still about 1.1 second gap. And the 8th and the 21 are working their way around the 77. Chris Lucky having a really good run today.
As we see, Richard Springer is going to go high. We are now on lap 80 of this 200 lap event. Wade Hustad is currently your leader. And there goes Taylor Butcher Benjamin, going to get by the leader and get his lap back, as well as Richard Springer.
Oh! Yeah, I don't know if Hustad was expecting Springer to get through as well. It looked like he wanted to get down, and they almost made contact. So that's going to put Springer only down 2 laps now, and Butcher Benjamin down 1 lap. But remember, those guys pit, so they'll be able to get their lap back. They'll probably get back on the lead lap once the leader as well. We see the 41. I thought the 41 was taking the lead, but the 41 had come down pit road. He just gets his lap back. I think you actually lose 2 laps pitting under green here, so Richard Lucky, I believe, we'll see as he goes past the scoring here.
And there goes the leader, Wade Hustad, coming down to pit.
Hustad down pit road, so now Butcher Benjamin, Richard Lucky, Mike Lemon. Lemon hasn't come down to pit yet, but they're going to have an opportunity to gain back that lap pretty soon. Thomas Harmon's still out there with the lead.
Yep, able to get that bonus point for leading a lap.
Yep. Chris James in 3rd. John Mullins. Wade Hustad registers as 5th, but he's still coming down pit road to get to his box.
Here comes Chris James to pit.
Everyone's starting to come down now. Mike Lemon coming down. And we have probably 4 cars that haven't come in right now. Harmon, Helt, Mullins, and Edwards.
I think Thomas Harmon's probably hoping for caution, try to pin all these cars 1 lap down.
And Bill Edwards. Now, what surprised me about Bill Edwards is that he's still on the lead lap, and he's missing his whole front end. And I think that was from that wreck with Ryan Hesgaard. So that he's still on the lead lap is pretty amazing.
Thomas Harmon comes to pit. Joseph Helt retains the lead. As we see Joseph Helt enter turn 3, let's see if he decides to pit this time. It looks like he will as he brings it down to the apron. Has to bring it down to 35 miles per hour.
So that's going to let Bill Edwards lead a lap. Now he's a non-points guy, so he doesn't actually need the point, but he'll be able to say, hey, I led a lap at Dover.
He's actually just now about to pass Joseph for the lead. He was almost a full lap down, so he does not lead that lap, but if he stays on track, he will be able to lead this lap as he comes around. But yeah, as we take a look at his front end, it's completely missing. You can see the radiator, the engine, all that.
Yeah, so the fact that he's able to even lead a lap here is pretty amazing.
Almost looks like a modified. So as soon as William Edwards pits, the lead should go to Richard Lucky, who I don't know how he did it. He's currently in second, and he did pit 11 laps ago.
Yeah, I don't know how he was running about, what, 5th, 6th? He was right around there, and that's when he pit.
Yep, we do see Wade Hustad right behind him, though he has 6 lap fresher tires.
Yeah, Hustad and Hutton, a little bit fresher tires.
If William Edwards doesn't pit, it looks like Richard won't even get a chance to lead a lap as Wade Hustad has caught him and he's looking to pass him. There he goes to the inside. Wade Hustad going to take second place away.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating.
Woohoo! The 78 almost clips the 41 off the turn 4. Heading in turn 1, it looks like Richard's going to give it to him. So William Edwards currently with a 6-second lead, but it is shrinking as he's currently 70 laps on his tires. He's dropping to the apron. Looks like he's going to pit now. That will give Wade Hustad the lead. As you see, Wade Hustad pass him now. So Wade Hustad back to the point on lap 93 of 200.
Yeah, a lot of shuffling of the standings. It's going to take a little bit of time until everything gets shaken out and we can see where everyone's actually going to be in this run. But a big guy I see, as we were coming in there, we saw Wade Hustad. Chris Lucky was running second. Chris Lucky's all the way back in 12th right now. Eric Hutton back into second. So we saw Hutton fading a little bit at the end of that run. Chris Lucky gaining a little bit on Wade Hustad. And now they're kind of flipped in positions, and Richard Lucky is running third.
Yeah, Chris Lucky had a bit of trouble on this stop, and it's unfortunately put him all the way outside the top 10.
Yeah, that's what happens at these short tracks. Dover, Atlanta, places like that, where you come down pit road, and if you make a slight mistake, that's 10, 15 positions right there.
As we see, John Theodore has now cracked the top 5 with Kaden Honeycutt right behind him in 6th. All these guys have done a fantastic job as we're about to hit the halfway point of this race. Only one caution so far. That was Ryan Hasgar getting loose on the backstretch, collecting 4 other drivers. All of them non-point drivers to the Cup Series, so that was fortunate for all the point drivers here tonight.
Yeah, no, that's something we expect to see a lot more of. But with this new package, even during the week, and I'll tell you, I don't race very high splits for really good drivers. So, and even those races, I don't recall. I mean, we maybe had one caution, if that. There weren't that many cautions. And this is a track where you think past years in these cars, lots of cautions in official races because guys just come out of those turns and lose it and wipe out the field. And we've seen that once today. That's what we've come to expect from this top series is not a lot of cautions, but
Absolutely.
tracks like this can always throw a wrench in that. We do expect a few more cautions at a Dover or a Martinsville, especially after after Talladega. Dega, you got the throttle wide open the whole way. With the occasional letting up a little bit, so you don't in the corners or whatever. But here you have to really wheel it, and it takes a little bit more wheel and pedal play still, but the grip is so much better now in this package that it really a parody of how many guys can actually handle this track now. Makes the racing a little bit different. And it does come down to pit road a lot more, as we saw in the case with Chris Lucky, who was having an incredible race and now is just trying to hang on to the lead lap.
Yeah, as we see right now, Chris Lucky is 10th place, Taylor Butcher Benjamin and John Mullins right behind him. It looks like John Mullins is going to get past Taylor. That's for 11th. Oh, Richard Springer into the wall hard. That might bring out a caution. And it does. Oh, right in front of the leaders. Eric. Wow, Eric Hutton almost got collected in that.
Yeah, and again, what is that? That's coming out of turn 2. Getting loose.
Going into a cockpit view of that for Eric Hutton. As you see Richard Springer just sliding down the track. That's what Dover is famous for, just those high-banked.
Yeah, I don't know if he just didn't lock it down or if he thought it's better to get down the apron. Unfortunately, the problem is people, if you're high, they're going to be going
One
low.
more look at that. You just see Richard Springer backing all the way down to the track, forcing Eric Hutton onto the blacktop.
Yeah, well, luckily our leaders were able to get by that. Hustad, you can see some streaks on Hustad and Hutton as they come by. They put some tire streaks down, and they get by safely.
Yeah, it looks like the same thing happened to Richard that happened to Ryan. They just
exactly the same thing. It's that turn 2, you get back on the gas and it gets loose. You get a little bit of light, you get loose, you kind of start wiggling, and you start trying to correct it, and all that does is just make you wiggle and get even worse. There's just nothing you can really do about that except for hold down the brake almost. So it's just a single car incident. Everyone else was able to get through clean. I was going to bring out another quick pit stop. I believe probably 20 laps. A lot of these guys, 15, 20 laps.
as we see, Jim Westerfield's actually gonna take the lead. It looks like he only did 2 tires.
I saw Eric Hutton coming out. He was driving sideways out of the pit. It took him a while to get those tires actually underneath him. He was spinning them, going sideways, trying to battle Richard Lucky off pit road. So the group I'm looking at right now is Hustad, Richard Lucky, Eric Hutton, and John Theodore. I'm going to see where they line up, though. Well, in front of them we have Jim Westerfield, Mike Springer, and Mike Lemon. Lemon and Springer are down multiple laps. Lemon's actually down 1 lap, so he's going to get a wave around. He'll be back on the lead lap. Mike Springer is down 3 laps, and then Richard Springer, who I believe is his father,
Yes.
is currently down 2 laps, but he's going to go down 3, and he's in the pits. We'll see how much damage he has. He did hit the wall a little bit. Jim Westerfield is in the lead.
Yeah, Mike Springer hoping for a couple more cautions so he can get back to the lead lap after having that trouble in the beginning of the race.
Yeah, he's down because he started in the pits and he was down 4 laps to start. That's how my A race went, I believe. I think it was the A race. It was either A or B. I only run those 2 cars, but the first one I did this week, I just couldn't get connected, and finally got connected about 4 laps down. So otherwise, had a really good race. I was running top 5 the whole way, except I was 4 laps down. So it is what it is. Mike Lemon will get the wave around. He'll get his lap. He'll get back on the lead lap, and then Mike Springer will be 2 laps down on once he gets the wave around. Jim Westerfield actually coming in again, so I'm wondering, did he just not come? No, he did come down before. Maybe he's thinking better of it. Oh, actually, I'm going back.
Yeah, with all the wheel spin we've seen on the restarts,
Oh,
this
you
is
know what
probably...
happened? He went down pit road. He never pits, though. He missed his box. I think he missed his box.
Ah, okay.
I don't know why he missed his box, really. Because it was wide open. He was looking right at it. He was slowed down, ready to go, and he just never pulled in. So maybe he wanted to stay out and get that lap led. We've seen that from a number of guys. David Wellborn is quite famous for doing that in the truck series, or quite infamous, probably the correct term.
Sorry about that little pop-up, ladies and gentlemen. I had to plug in my mic so it can charge.
So we got Wade Hustad is going to be the control car on the lead. 41 of Richard Lucky will be on the outside in second. Eric Hutton, John Theodore, Thomas Harmon, and then Chris Lucky. So we got 3 cars sandwiched in between the Lucky brothers. What happened? I think the green's going to be delayed. There was a spin.
Not able to pick up.
Yeah, I'm going to check and see who that was, I think. Oh, I think that might have been Mike Lemon.
Mike Lemon, let's see if I can...
Yeah, Mike Lemon. So Mike Lemon coming around on the wave round. Comes out of turn 2. He's not even going that fast. He's going 90.
Oh, yep.
I think he just hits the brakes too much because he was right coming up to the tail end of the field.
Oh, yeah, hits the outside wall.
Just spins out. And that kind of sucks because he just got back that lap and got back onto the lead lap, and now he just added a little bit more damage to his car.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Mike Lemon. He does have a lot of rear end damage. I don't believe that was from that particular incident. I think that was from the very first caution here tonight.
Yep. Yeah, most of his damage is from that first caution, but he just caused himself a little bit more. And that's the one that gets you the most, is when you do it like that. You're on the caution, you're on the yellow flag lap, and you're just trying to get back into line with the wave round, and then you spin out and find yourself more trouble.
Pace car
So
pulls
he's
off.
taking it to the line.
And there he goes. He gets a good jump. Wade Hustad going to be...
Slow start by Chris James. Again, I think he's just taking it easy. So it goes 3 wide. Honeycutt's going to take it 3 wide after they cross the start-finish line. Passes Taylor Butcher-Benjamin and Dustin Musial easily. He's going to work his way now behind Chris Lucky, working his way past John Mullins and Chris James. Eric Hutton. I thought Eric Hutton was in the lead. I lost where Hustad is. There he is. Hustad's got a nice gap, about half a second over Hutton. Thomas Harmon in third, and Richard Lucky in fourth now. And Honeycutt makes a move past Chris Lucky.
He does. And everyone kind of single files out for the meantime. We do have Logan looking on the inside. Chris Lucky now.
So Chris Lucky having a great beginning of this race, and now it's falling off. I don't know if this is him conserving, and then he's going to come storming back later, or... But ever since that first green flag stop where he had trouble in this.
As we see Caden Honeycutt looking to the inside of John Mullins, this is going to be for 7th.
Ooh, a little bit of, got really close between the 8 and the 22 behind Chris Lucky. They made a little bit of contact. As Chris Lucky is just falling back like a rock. Taylor Butcher-Benjamin and Dustin Musial passing him easily.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's wrong with Chris Lucky. He might just be saving his tires and...
Yeah, he might be falling back to the back of the field on purpose.
Hoping this goes green to the end and he'll have a good run for the lead at the final 20 or so laps.
Yeah, Jim Westerfield's going to be passing him, and Lucky will fall to the tail end of the lead lap, and then the first lapped car, Bill Edwards, is also going to work past him.
Going back to the lead, Eric Hutton has a run on Wade Hustad. He's going to put pressure on him, not quite able to get around him. Thomas Harmon right behind them, followed by Chris Lucky and John Theodore.
Yeah, the question is, does anyone have anything for Wade Hustad? We've seen Eric Hutton, we've seen Chris Lucky. We saw Logan McAnally stick with the 32 for a while, but not be able to get past him and not be able to hang with him for too long.
Well, he's there for now, and he's going to have to make this opportunity count as the laps are ticking down. We're going to have 85 to go at the line. Eric's just going to have to hope Wade Hustad makes a mistake, and as we all know, Wade Hustad does not make many mistakes. And Richard Lucky going to look to the inside of Thomas Harmon now. He's going to take third place away. Richard Lucky having a phenomenal race here tonight. As we go back a little further to John Mullins, he's going to look to the inside of Chris James. That'll be for 7th place. Going to get by him, and John Mullins, another driver, having a great run, currently in 7th. Chris James, however, not going to give up. He's going to try to bypass John Mullins and take 7th position back. Joseph Helt going to try to get to the inside of Chris James. It looks like he might be able to get him. John Theodore looking to take 4th from Thomas Harmon. Harmon's falling back a little bit. Got passed by Richard Lucky a couple laps ago. Now John Theodore might clear him. It's going to be tight off the corner. Not quite able to clear him. John Theodore going to have to try to work another couple corners to get by Thomas Harmon, while we have Caden Honeycutt right behind both of them just waiting. Ooh, John Theodore, that looks scary, but he's able to file in behind Thomas Harmon.
Yeah, these guys were racing around each other a lot last season, especially John Theodore and Thomas Harmon all the way down to the last race of the playoffs. I believe they were.
Yeah, they had a fantastic race at Phoenix.
Racing each other hard.
I think something happened to Chris Lucky. He's not on my radar anymore. He might have.
Chris Lucky has blinked out for me too.
Man.
It's going to be a pretty sour end to the night if he can't get back on the track.
Yeah, he was having such a great run too.
Yeah, he had a good early race, and then I don't know if it was by choice or just lost the feeling, fell back, and now he's completely off the track with connection issues probably, so he's not even going to be able to work out that strategy, and I think this was a track that he looked pretty confident at least in the first part of the race, and there he goes.
Well, the other Lucky, Richard, is putting a lot of pressure on 2nd place Eric Hutton, going to hopefully take 2nd place and see what he has for Wade Hustad.
And it just grazed the wall, though. So Lucky, yeah, he's looking for, Richard Lucky's trying to match up the wins that his brother has.
Yeah, it's kind of like Richard and Chris just switched places. Chris had a great start to the race, and Richard was kind of in the 10th, 11th place area,
Yeah.
and now they just switched.
Yeah, and it's like they were both racing. You know, the 77 and the 78 were racing early, and now it's the 41 and the 78.
Who's gonna try to clear him here, and it looks like he might slide up in front of him off the corner, and he does.
Makes a little bit of a wall again there. Doesn't hurt him too much. So we got our top 6 cars are actually pretty close to each other right now. About between Hustad and Caden Honeycutt, second and a half. So a good mid-race brewing here. Basically a battle to see who can try to catch the 32.
Yeah, Wade Houston having a phenomenal race right now. Gonna have 72 laps to go at the line, I believe. 73. Not a whole lot going on battle-wise. Everybody's pretty single-filed out. We can go back to 10th place Chris James just in front of Dustin Musil. That would be the closest battle we have currently on the track. So Logan, the pole sitter, after smacking the wall, his car has just not been the same. He's currently sitting in 9th place, hanging on to a top 10 the best he can. It's very unfortunate that he smacked the wall as hard as he did. He had a great race going for him. Just hoping to have a decent finish, try to gain as many points as he can after missing the last couple of weeks.
I just popped open Hustad's season stats, or his career stats. I was thinking he won this race last year, but it doesn't look like it. But I'm seeing he did win the truck race at Dover last year, which will be happening in the next couple days. So he dominated that truck race, as he did most truck races he participated in last year. But it's just going back and remembering how dominant he was last season, towards the end of the season. He won the last 3 races of the year in the Cup Series during the playoffs there. And dominated those races. Texas, Phoenix, he led most of the laps. Homestead led almost all the laps. So Hustad's no stranger to getting out in the lead and dominating. But
oh, Richard Lucky looking to the inside.
Nose in there. But Richard Lucky is.
We have a caution.
Richard Lucky gets to him.
Oh, wow, that's very unfortunate. I'm not quite sure who that was on.
Logan McAnally is slow. He's sideways on the front stretch. We're going to go see. It looks like him and John Mullins were battling for position. McAnally just got up outside to where John Mullins was.
Oh, they touched.
Down slightly.
Yeah, it looked like they touched, if I can go back to that replay.
But definitely McAnally was just trying to stay up in that lane, and Mullins is already there. And they make contact, and McAnally to the inside wall.
Yeah, ever so slightly, just sent him into the wall. Jim Westerfield got a little bit of damage off that. I don't think it was significant.
So that's a pretty unfortunate day for Logan McAnally, who started on the pole, was having a great beginning of the race. Just kind of went sideways, and everyone's going to come down and pit. All giving each other a little bit of bumps as they're coming down pit road, trying to maintain and stay as close to each other as possible, because this is going to be significant battles coming off the pit road. Looks like Taylor Butcher Benjamin staying out. Hustad and Harmon as they all slide in their boxes.
Yeah, Taylor looking for that point lead, and hopefully he does decide to come down pit. There's still a lot of laps left. No need to risk wheel spin or ending up in a wreck.
Yeah, Wade Husted, Thomas Harmon, Eric Hutton, all right on top of each other coming out of pit road. Those are your top three. And Richard Lucky drops 2 positions. Honeycutt, Joseph Help.
I want to pull in Eric Hutton for an interview and see what his thoughts are.
Yeah, go for that. Quick update on that wreck. The race control gave the penalty. Looks like they're giving the penalty to John Mullins coming down out of the turn.
Eric Hutton, this is James Fandoff from the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, it looks like you've been up in the top 3 all race long. Wade Husted is having a phenomenal race. You think you have anything for him in the last 60 laps?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to work better on setting my tires in the long run here. Should get about 60 something lap run, so as long as the 68 and the 41 don't battle me too hard, I think I might have a shot.
As we saw earlier in this race, there have been 2 wrecks due to cars getting loose off the corners. How significant is throttle control coming off the corners in this package?
Yeah, I think it's really important as you run the very bottom. For me, at least, it got tight off the corner. So as you start to get a run, coming in high and turn down low, it'll get loose. So it's all about how you run that center, and that affects how your car will affect handle on the corner.
Alrighty, Eric. Well, we're going to let you go here. Get ready for this restart, and we hope to talk to you in the end of this race.
All right, we'll see you then.
And that was Eric Hutton, currently in 3rd place. Gonna hopefully get around Wade Husted. He's been trying all night long. Martin, as we get to the 60 laps to go, who do you think is the favorite to win this race?
Wade Husted. It's just that he got such a track record of doing this kind of thing. And like I mentioned, talking about the end of his last season in Cup Series where he won the championship, he dominated those races. Texas was 167 laps. He led 148. Phoenix was 156 laps. He led 140. Homestead 133 laps. He led 99. The guy gets in the lead. He usually does not give it up. And that's how almost all of his races are that he won. I'm just looking at all of them. Truck, Cup, Grand National. Any race he wins, he dominates. I'm looking at Chicagoland. Last season, Chicagoland Grand National Series, he led 115 out of 116 laps. The next day in the Cup Series, he led 116 laps out of the 133 to win. So the guy gets in the lead, whether he starts on the pole or takes the lead like he did here. It's going to be hard to get him off there, and we've talked about it, that, Husted and Burrows look like your top guys in this league. Well, Burrows isn't out there, so who's going to be the guy that's going to push him today? Thomas Harmon running 2nd.
Another great restart by Wade Husted, as he's going to lead him in turn 1. Richard Lucky and Eric Hutton are the first 2 side-by-side for 3rd place. Still side-by-side as they head into turn 3. Caden Honeycutt might try to push the issue here and take him 3 wide.
41 and the 78 get into each other. That's going to give the 41 a little bit of an advantage on the outside. He's going to slip into 3rd. Now we're single file. We got 61 laps to go.
John Theodore got a little bit loose off turn 2. He's going to try to stay in front of Dustin Musil. That'll be for 7th. And it looks like he does that.
Yeah, we still have 12 cars on the lead lap. Bill Edwards on the tail end. We'll go through the fields. John Mullins, Taylor Butch Benjamin, Chris James, Musil, Theodore, Joe Help, Caden Honeycutt, Eric Hutton. And then our top 3 of Richard Lucky, Thomas Harmon, and Wade Husted. And it's a good group here in the top 5.
And there goes Richard Lucky.
Moves early.
Yeah, he was He could almost taste the blood in the water when he was trying to get by Wade Houston, and then that caution came out, but he's going to have to do it again.
He's being very aggressive. He made contact with the 78 when he was passing him. He just made contact with the 68. Didn't work out so well being the inside car that time, so
He's going to try it again here in one.
take it again. Yeah, when he was passing the 78, he was on the outside, and they made contact, and that worked to his advantage. There again,
Oh, there he goes.
So
He's
Lucky,
able to keep it.
Yeah, Lucky is trying to do that inside line, but he can't hang it down low enough, and so he keeps coming out of the turn, especially turn 2 there. He keeps making contact with the car he's passing, so now he drops 2 positions. I think for Lucky, he wants to try to get that outside, because he was successful passing the 78 on the outside and forcing the 78 to make the bump and get bumped down.
And that opened the door for both Eric and Caden to get by him. Caden Honeycutt showing his face early, near the end of this race, as he's currently in 4th. Eric Hutton diving down to the inside of Thomas Harmon. He's going to try to take 2nd place away. Caden Honeycutt's going to try to follow.
Well, you can see that because those cars, they need to come up out of turn 2, and the 78 almost got his rear end, his right end clipped by the 68. 68 had to let off, and the 37 is able to coast by as well. That's how hard they're racing, is that they're going so hard that they can't cut that car on the inside down to pass without making contact with the outside guy. So actually got a good group here. 8 cars all within a second, 1.25 seconds of each other. Dustin Musial, he's kind of just been hanging around, and here he is running 8th. Chris James and John Mullins run off the top 10.
Yep, Dustin Musial just keeping his car clean, trying to survive to the finish. We haven't talked a whole lot about him tonight, but good job by him. He's able to stay in the top 10 right now, and he's just picking off the positions as he can.
Yeah, that's part of the success, being a successful, good, consistent driver is just being around. If we're not talking about you, sometimes it means that, maybe you're not making a ton of moves up front, but it also means you're not doing a lot of bad stuff and going backwards. So that's where Dustin Musial, Chris James, and John Mullins basically have been all day. Just kind of right there. They've been around a few things, making their way into a place where they can get a good top 10 finish.
On board with Caden Honeycutt as he almost gives the bump to the 78. He's going to try to set up a run off the corner to get to the inside of him. As he almost, I'm worried he's going to end up spinning the 78 if he's not careful.
Yeah, we got to keep in mind Honeycutt is actually he's a pro driver. He's a guy, he drives in the ARCA series.
Yeah, Caden Honeycutt, very good on the short track. Seen him in the ARCA series and the K&N series. As you see, he let up a little on 78. Going to try to reevaluate what he has to do to get around him. As we are 50, now 49 laps to go at Dover. Richard Lucky looking back to the inside of Thomas Harmon. That's going to be 4th place.
Yeah, John Theodore also working on Joseph Pelt for what would be 6th place. Neither of them are able to get by. We got about 3 battles going on right now. 37 and the 78 battling for 2nd. 68 and the 41 battling for 4th. So the 27 and the 02 will be battling for 6th. Right now, all of them are kind of reevaluating, trying to get into a position to make that pass. And so far this run, all of them are staying close to the leader, Wade Hustad. Eric Hutton about a 10th and a half behind him.
We see Richard Lucky going to look to the inside once again on Thomas Harmon. He's going to clear him.
I think this battling for fourth, it's slowing those guys down a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap opening between them and the top three. The battle between Honeycutt and Hutton, though, isn't really slowing them down too much, but the gap is widening a little. Hustad is able to just drive, not have to worry about battling anybody at this point.
Yeah, this is exactly what Wade Hustad wants to see, is the 78 and the 37 battling each other hard so he can pull away and cushion that lead.
And you can see Honeycutt, every time he goes in a turn, he's going in a little bit deeper before he brakes or lets off as much. He's getting right up to the bumper of the 78 before he lets off, and a little bit of a gap appears between them. And then he starts closing it again as they come out the turn, so he's just trying to find an opening that he can get past this car. The 78, he wants to be the guy to take down Wade Hustad. In that lap, they actually closed the gap again. It widened to about a quarter of a second. Now it's back down to 0.2. And Richard Lucky now is going to be getting in the mix. Wow, that gap really closed.
Yeah, it did. Wade Hustad bobbled.
A little bit of a wall tap from the 78. It's going to open the door for the 37 and take the inside. They're now side by side. The 37 is going to take it. Well, maybe not.
Ooh, that's almost made contact.
That's sometimes a question. Do you just let the guy go by so that you can stay with the leader? Because that battling, it's only good for Wade Hustad.
This is going to give Caden Honeycutt the opportunity to try to catch and pass Wade Hustad. Going to have 39 laps to go at the line.
That's always the question. At what point do you concede the lead to Wade Hustad, and then now you're battling just for that second place position? And I don't think they're at that point yet. There's so much time, so many more laps to go, that these guys should be keeping the eye on getting to Wade and not battling each other so much. He's still within striking distance, but if you battle too much for that second position, he's going to be out to a 2-second lead before you know it. So Hutton dropping off a little bit. He's going to be battling now with the 41 of Richard Lucky. He can't get away from those Luckies.
As we see Richard Lucky trying to get that third spot away, he's running out of time to try to get back to the lead of Wade Hustad.
We lost another driver just hanging out today. Chris James, he's now down 3 laps. He lost his connection, so there's another guy who we didn't talk about a lot today, was just hanging around, looking for a good top 10 finish, and the internet betrays them, and that's happened to too many guys. It's always going to be an issue. Looks like he's going to get back on the track, and I'm sure he'll get that car going to hang on to 13th place. He's got about 9 laps on the 88 of Logan McAnally in 14th, so he'll be back out there, but disappointing end to the night for him, where he would have liked to have been battling for a top 10.
A nice set of battles going on within the top 4. Caden Honeycutt can catch him, he just can't quite set up a pass on Wade Hustad. Very familiar sight we've seen with multiple different drivers, just not able to quite put a pass on Wade Hustad.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. At what point does in the last 10 or last 5 does the 37 put a bumper on the 32 and move him? That's what you get at these short tracks. You get that opportunity to put a bumper on a guy, just upset him enough that you can get past him. But that gap widening. Eric Hutton and Richard Lucky now back 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, Richard Lucky just not quite able to put that pass on Eric Hutton for third place. As we see that nice shot coming down the backstretch, everybody's single filed. Nobody really able to make a pass. We got Joseph Helt and John Theodore battling for 6th and 7th. Joseph Helt started on the outside pole today, but hasn't really had quite the car to maintain a top 5 spot. Currently in 6th. Looks like he'll be able to get a top 10 finish out of today. I'm sure that's not quite exactly the finish he wanted, but after getting caught up early in Talladega, it's going to be a bittersweet feeling to get that top 10 finish. As we go back up to the lead, it's a consistent 0.2 of a second gap between Wade Hustad and Caden Honeycutt. And then the gap to third is actually growing as Eric Hutton's about 0.9, soon to be a second as they are side by side.
Yeah, Richard Lucky gets the inside, cuts off. Oh, and there's the tap again. That's going to bring out a yellow, I think.
Oh, no, he's able to keep straight.
No, he can save it. Wow. I was trying to get the camera to him so I could see what happened. And
Let's see if we can get a replay.
Wow, that was really good work by Lucky to save it. But we saw that again, is that Lucky, every time he goes to the inside, he comes out of turn, and he just cannot hang it down enough to make that contact at the inside car. And that sends the inside car inside always. And that's what happened to Logan McAnally. It happened to Richard Lucky 2 or 3 times when he was trying to pass Thomas Harmon.
That was a fantastic save by Richards. Too bad.
He's probably changing his underpants along with Joseph Helt and a couple other drivers right around there. And he's kicking himself because he just lost another 2 positions. And that's exactly what happened when he was trying to pass Thomas Harmon, is that he came out of turn 2, bumped him, got bumped down. Next lap, same thing. The only time he's been successful passing a guy on this run was passing the 78 on the outside when he forced the 78 to be the inside car that gets the bump and goes down. So it seems like that's the way to go, perhaps for a guy like Richard Lucky, is try to get to that outside and make the pass, because the inside guy, if he bumps you, he's going to be bouncing down the inside, losing position.
As we see, Thomas Harmon is now next in line to challenge Eric Hutton for third place.
Yeah, that's a wide gap now between them and the top 2. And even the top 2, that gap widened another 10th, so it's almost 0.3 of a second. Wade Hustad's starting to pull away. We have just over 20 laps to go.
Yep, 21 laps to go at the line. Wade Hustad with a 0.3 of a second lead.
Yeah, now it's race time now. This is when guys are going to start taking off and going all out, and it's getting more spread out. I really thought that there was going to be that this run was shaping up to be a pretty intense finish, but as it is, it's going to be a battle between the 37 and 32, and the 32 looks like he's been saving and just toying with everyone because he's now pulling away seems like every lap he's gaining another tenth on the 37. And we saw the 37 kind of fade on a couple of the runs where he was right up there early and then he would fall back. And there's another tenth, drops almost half a second now. 68 and 78 battling for that third position. And for them, that might be their best chance at points. Because I don't know if they're going to be able to catch. They might be able to catch the 37. 37 might start falling off, but Wade Hustad has shown no signs of fading at any point in this race. So 68 is going to move into third place, 78. And then the 0-2 of Joseph Helt and Richard Lucky in sixth.
Yeah, Thomas Harmon doing a great job getting by that 78. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch both Caden Honeycutt and the leader Wade Hustad.
Yeah, the only one I could see them catching the 37 because the 37 has faded at other points in these runs. You just saw him wiggle there. The 32 is riding on rails right now. He is not making any mistakes. He hasn't faded, and in fact, it looks like he's either sped up or Honeycutt is dropping off.
Yeah, late race caution would definitely change the whole end to this race, but anything can happen. 15 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, at this point, it's all up to Wade Hustad. It's all Wade Hustad's race to lose because there's no one out there that's going to just come out of nowhere and steal something from Wade Hustad at this point. Caden Honeycutt's probably the only guy that could catch him, and he is not going the right direction right now.
Yeah, it's about 0.7 of a second behind him. Richard Lucky trying to give it all he can to get that top 5 finish. He's had a fantastic run all day today. Had a bit of a incident with the 78 that put him back to 6th place. And same with Chris Lucky, having a great run. Just had some issues, and he's going to finish 18th tonight. Going back to the leader, Wade Hustad. Just trying to hit his marks. Only has to do this 12 more times. He'll be able to win his 2nd race of the season.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point where Hustad has the potential to really take off. Again, I pulled the stats from last year, and I'm going to pull up the stats just from the Cup Series last year so I can focus on that. But just looking about, yeah, June is when he took off. He won a race in April. He won Bristol, and then he took off. He won Michigan. He won Chicagoland. He won Pocono. He won Michigan again, and he just took off and won almost every other week, it seems, to finish that season with the championship. So he's a guy that likes the summer races, goes into the summer and the autumn, and that's where he thrives. He's got that win under his belt. That was at Las Vegas, right? No, not Las Vegas. Where did he win this year? He won a couple weeks ago at Richmond. Basically right on schedule. Last year he won his first race April 17th. He won his first race this year April 15th. If he wins this race, he'll actually be ahead of schedule for his wins. He'll be ahead of where he was last year. So we thought he was having a slow start this year. He actually had a slower start last year, and here he is. looking to pick up his second win in the first race of May. And he's got Michigan and Chicagoland circled, and so I could chalk those up. Those are another 3 races he could easily win, the way he raced those ones last year.
Yeah, the gap's now over a second. Wade Hustad just running away with this. We're going to have...
Yeah. And look who's right there coming up on Honeycutt, though. That gap is closed. Hutton has fallen back to 3 seconds. He's actually going to be working on holding off Joseph Hell. Chris James working between them. Chris James down a number 7 laps, so not really in this race, just trying to maintain that 13th position.
He could be a factor for the 4th, 5th, and 6th, but looks like he's going to be able to get by everybody pretty cleanly.
But as I said, I think Thomas Harmon could easily get into 2nd here because Honeycutt has been fading, but I don't think he'll be able to. He's not going to be able to close that gap with Hustad. Though he has made that gap smaller. It was about 2 seconds, and it's now down to about 1.6, 1.7. So he's closing the gap, but with only 6 to go, Thomas Harmon is battling for 2nd place.
If I'm not mistaken, a caution here will end the race. So the only chance is going to have to be to keep it on the green if anybody's going to take this one away from Wade Hustad.
Yeah, this is a huge race. Just looking at the point standings, this is a huge race. It's going to extend Wade Hustad's lead. Not much over Thomas Harmon, except for in the fact that he'll have another win. But him and Thomas Harmon are starting to separate themselves from the rest of the field because Mike Springer, not a really good finish tonight. Chris James, not really good. Chris Lucky, Jim Westerfield.
Caution.
The race is going to end under yellow. Honeycutt's able to hang on to 2nd. Let's see who that was. It looks like Richard Springer. I see Richard Springer down, headed toward the grass. So let's see. Yeah, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be him coming out of turn 4, getting loose, trying to correct it.
Yep. Hit the outside wall to the inside wall.
And, just clears. And actually, that was actually scarier than I initially thought. That was right in front of Wade Hustad.
Let's see if I can get on board with Wade Hustad. Yep.
Yeah, Hustad just had to clear him, so it actually was.
Gonna go to a cockpit view.
Wow.
Wade Hustad coming off turn 4. He could see the wreck happening. Richard Springer starting to come up the track. Wade Hustad almost got collected. Wow, that was extremely lucky.
He saw Springer high, and so he starts thinking, okay, I'm going to start going low. Starts fading to that low, but it's like, you got to remember, that car probably is going to slide down. But there have been times where that car also locks up and stays high, so. Funny, listen to Hustad right now talking about how he's just been saving stuff for that long run.
That would have been very terrible if Wade Hustad had
that was
been
right
collected
in
in
front of
that.
Hustad. And I'm sure if Hustad had gotten collected, that probably would have also caught the 37 and the 68 in some of that wreckage. Now, I don't know how, again, the yellow comes out, it locks the field. So those guys still would have been in that position, possibly. You never know, iRacing gets a little funky when guys get caught up in it.
Yeah, it's like if you're caught up into it, but you keep going, you keep your position. If you get caught up and you're like at a dead stop, it's like a 50-50 chance iRacing gives you your position back. It's very strange how iRacing does it.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get through a wreck and you'll see everyone in front of you gets wrecked, and then they're like, yeah, they have to all pass you now on the yellow flag. It's like, what? They get their position back? I survived all that and I get nothing out of it? Except for surviving, so. At the end of a race, that kind of sucks. If you think you just gained 5 positions.
Wade Hustad will be your winner tonight. Caden Honeycutt will be coming home 2nd. Thomas Harmon 3rd. Joseph Helt will be 4th. And the 78 of Eric Hunt will be your top 5.
Yeah, dominant position, or dominant race. And we saw this, we've only seen this once from Hustad this season, and that was at Bristol, where he didn't win that race because I think he got wrecked out or something happened where he ended up in 3rd.
And take a look at this. Tonight, Wade Hustad led 165 of the 200 laps.
Yeah, he does that does that so often, and usually when he does that, he wins. Like I said, Bristol, he did not win. That's one of the few times where he's led a vast majority of the lap and not won the race.
As we went over the top 5, 6th place is going to be Richard Lucky, 7th place John Theodore. Dustin Musa will come home 8th. William Edwards will be 9th. John Mullins will round out your top 10. 11th place is Taylor Butchie Benjamin. 12th place Mike Springer. Chris James comes home 13th. Logan McNally comes home 14th. Richard Springer, the one you just saw in that incident, will be 15th. Jim Westerfield, who had a great run today, had some trouble, will wind up 16th. Michael Emmons 17th. Chris Lucky, another driver who was having a fantastic run, comes home 18th. Gary Cronoway 19th. Gaddy Buckner 20th. 21st will be James Lorello, and 22nd Ryan Hesgard, both S2R teammates, caught up in the very first wreck of tonight's race. And Stephen Turner, who was not able to grid, will be 23rd. As they cross the line, Wade Hustad, tonight's winner. I think we're going to go first through third for interviews tonight. Let me see if I can find Wade Hustad and pull him in. If I can find him. Alright, Wade Hustad. Hey, Wade Hustad, this is James Pandoff from the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, you just had a completely dominant race, leading 165 laps of the 200. Tell us about your race.
Well, all I have to say is this track really gives you a lot of confidence to use up those tires really quick. I mean, it's pretty fast, and a lot of the guys tonight, Logan, Caden, Thomas, Tom was saving, but Eric, they're all super quick tonight, and I just had to try to do my best when I was out front, not to burn up my stuff, to keep those guys behind me, and I had a really good battle. That was fun with Logan. But the key was really to save those tires for the end. I kind of say that almost every week to save those tires, but here it's so critical not to burn up that right front, and I'm sweating here right now. I mean, it was a fun race. We got a lot of green flag runs there. I couldn't have asked for anything more tonight.
So tell us about that final caution. You see Richard Springer on the track. What's going through your mind?
There's a couple laps to go. I wasn't sure if the yellow was going to come out, and then I thought I was going to get collected in that, so I was just waiting for his car to roll one way or another, and, I need to probably check my drawers here after this race. But, we got pretty lucky with that one. I really wanted it to go green. I was saving my tires and just kind of matching Caden with lap times to keep him behind me, and then I saw Tom was coming out of nowhere. He was, I think 2 seconds behind us, and he got up to like 1.4 seconds before I realized how close he was, and that's when I said, that's enough. I'm not going to let Tom catch me, and I just started juicing it, got, a little bit quicker, started to pull away again, and that yellow came out. But overall, it was a fun race. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more. There really wasn't too many yellows, and overall, it was a lot of fun racing with, Eric, Richard. Logan was probably my favorite to race with tonight. And overall, it's a good showing for S2R, and I want to thank Fatal Concepts for the paint scheme that I have. I'm really happy with tonight's performance.
Martin, do you have anything for Wade Hustad before we let him go?
Not just you're ahead of schedule now for your wins. Looking at it's got fireworks to go. But yeah, I was just looking at your stats and just amazed at the last season and all the races that you ran, where you lead almost all the laps, and you very rarely don't win a race when you do that. And how you're basically just right on schedule. You won Bristol, was your first win last year. This year it's Richmond about a week later. And now you're a little bit ahead of schedule as you come up on Michigan and Chicagoland. You won both Michigan races last year. Chicagoland's coming up. How you feeling about these summer races coming up?
I want to say it's probably one of my favorite stretches that we have. Some of the tracks, I think Chicagoland's probably a little bit later on. But other than that, I mean, the stretch that we have, these tracks I'm pretty good at, and as we get later in the season, I like those as well. We just have to have luck on our side, and hopefully everything else pays out. I mean, right now we're locked in. All we can do is just try to get as many wins as we can heading into that playoffs. The key is to get to that last round, and hopefully we can do what we did last year.
Alrighty, Wade. Well, again, fantastic race. Congrats on the win. We'll see you next week at Kansas.
Awesome, guys. I appreciate it. I really appreciate everything you guys do as well. Dynasty Racing League is the best league that I race.
We appreciate your kind words, and we're glad to have you. If it wasn't for you, the drivers, we wouldn't have a league to begin with.
Yeah, you guys keep it up. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. And that was Wade Hustad, tonight's dominant winner, to say the least. Next, we're going to pull in second place finisher Caden Honeycutt, who is also in the S2R channel. Let's pull him in for an interview. Caden Honeycutt, this is James Pandoff in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, James.
Well, Caden, what a race tonight. You started 12th. You came home second. We thought you had a few opportunities at Wade Hustad. How difficult was it to catch and then even try to pass Wade Hustad tonight?
Well, I think at the first half of the race, I learned to save tires. I learned that pretty fast. You also how far back I dropped. I think I dropped back to 10th behind I think John Theodore. And then as soon as I was figuring out the safe tires on the second half of that race, on lap 138, I was like, okay, let's save some tires, stay behind these guys, and just ride for a little bit. And that's what I did for a little while. And then I got back. I passed Eric. And then I was right behind Wade, and I was like, well, I'm trying to save tires, but I'll also try to pass him. And that was probably the mistake I made. I was just trying way too hard to pass him and stay with him. And I just lost all my roll speed and drive off just trying to do that on the late run. And Thomas was catching us pretty good, and he's laid back and tried to save his tires, and he did that. And I think it would have been probably a interesting race. The caution came out a little bit earlier than that, but I'm just glad I came second after how the first half of that race was going for me.
If the race did stay green here tonight, do you think Thomas Harmon had a good chance of passing you? We know that, as you said, you were dropping off pace with Wade Hustad towards the final couple laps of tonight.
If he had about 10 or 20 laps, I think so. To be honest with you, me and Wade maintained a gap about I think 7/10 from each other for about 15 laps straight, and Thomas kept catching us maybe 2/10 a lap, and I was like with 15 to go, and he was coming. He was right on my bumper too, and I think he would have got past me. He would have got to Wade pretty fast. So I think I learned a little bit here at Dover, and tire wear is definitely huge with this new package that we figured out with abrasive racetracks like Dover. And I just have to keep that in mind and keep going to these races and try to win one and get in the playoffs and try to go for the championship.
Martin, do you have anything for Mr. Honeycutt?
No, just a good run. Good run tonight. See you next week.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks.
All right, Caden, have a great night, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
Y'all too, and thank y'all for watching on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to DRL. It's a great league, great facility, and we provide good racing. So just hit that subscribe button and the like button. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
And that was Caden Honeycutt, the second place finisher here tonight. And then if we could pull in Thomas Harmon. Hey, Thomas, this is James up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
Well, what can I say? What a race tonight. How are you feeling? Do you think you would have had something for Caden Honeycutt if the race stayed green till the end?
I think it would have been close. I'd like to think that I would have gotten him, but I knew my best shot was to get to his outside, and I was trying to work on how to do that. see what kind of runs I could get while I was right there behind him. But it would have been one heck of a fight. There's no doubt about that.
Comparing this setup to last year, this whole package, uh, how was it out there? Was it more intense as a driver? Did it require more focus?
Yeah, because you have to try to manage your stuff as well as pay attention to the guys around you. I noticed a lot of those guys were from what my line was, absolutely just sending it into the corner, and which is why on that last stand I kind of eventually gave up and let, I think, Hutton and Caden by, because I didn't want to get myself killed trying to hold them off. But yeah, you definitely got to pay attention to a lot, and the car went through a lot of changes throughout the run. There'd be times that it wanted to get loose off the corners. There'd times it'd want to shoot straight to the wall. But yeah, trying to manage everything with all this grip and all the horsepower behind it, this track is quite a bit more to manage.
And as you know, next week we head to Kansas. What are your thoughts on Kansas?
It's kind of, from what I've seen, it's been a Talladega 2.0, and all three lines seem to be able to run flat out and three wide, and each one of them has the opportunity to prevail. But I don't know if I'm looking forward to that or not.
Alrighty, well, you had a great finish here tonight, top 3 finish. Going to be looking forward to watching you at Kansas, and hopefully you'll be able to pull off a W, your second win of the season that would be. Already locked in the playoffs. Looking forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the season. Martin, do you have anything for Thomas?
Just good run tonight. Looking forward to what you can bring us at Kansas. That's going to be a fun race.
It should be, especially for the fans.
Thomas, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to you guys up in the booth, all the admins at DRL, S2R, all the competitors that are coming out now and having fun with this package. Avril on the car, and Spider Dimitri and the fans out there that are watching.
Alrighty, sounds good, Thomas. Well, again, congrats on your top 3 finish, and we'll see you again next week.
Sounds good. See you guys there. Thank you.
Alrighty, and real quick, I want to get a quick word with Richard Lucky, if he's still around. He had a good chance at the lead, and I just want to get his thoughts on that ill-timed caution. Hey, Richard Lucky, this is James Fendoff from the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Richard, I just want to pull you in to say great run tonight. It was awesome seeing you in the top 3 finish and top 3 throughout the race, and I just wanted to get your word on that second to last caution. You were going to make you move on Wade Husted, and then the yellow flags. What was going through your head at that moment?
Well, I definitely wanted it to stay green just to see what would happen. And then after that pit stop, I lost those couple spots, and that was kind of the end of it there. And I was overdriving it, trying to get back up there.
Yeah, and real quick, I know Chris Lucky, you were in a channel with him. What exactly happened to him? Because he was also up there in the top 3 fighting for the lead, and did he drop internet? Did he just what happened?
Yeah, he was running good. He was feeling pretty confident in the strategy that he had and his speed, but he said his computer didn't update automatically, so it just kind of booted him off of everything. So he's really disappointed. This is his favorite track. He's the one that taught me to get around here.
Well, the good news is we will be going back there in the fall. It should be a great race to see you guys. Hopefully both get a top 5 finish in the fall. Next week we do head to Kansas. What are your thoughts on Kansas? Are you guys looking forward to running that?
I don't think I've ever run Kansas, or if I have, it's been a while. So I don't know. I'll have to turn some practice laps this week and see what it is.
Oh man, it's going to be fun to watch. Any shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
mainly just want to thank you guys doing the TV broadcast and all of the DRL for putting this on every week, and congratulations to Wade for the win. Thanks to my brother for all the help that he gives me, and thanks to Thomas Harmon and Eric Hutton, I think, the 78, for running me clean all night. So that was fun.
Awesome, Richard. We appreciate you spending a little time talking to us after the race. Sorry that it took so long to get to you after the top 3 interviews. Martin, do you have anything you'd like to say to Mr. Lucky before we let him go?
No, that was a really good race by you and Chris. Yeah, it seemed like both of you guys really liked this track. Definitely looked like Chris had something tonight, and he definitely taught you well because you looked like you had something to give up there. So I'm going to be looking forward to the Falls over race to see what you guys can do, and hopefully see you guys have maybe battling for the win between each other.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see. It's going to be hard to ever beat Wade or some of these guys. I mean, they're really, really fast, so we just do what we can.
Yep.
Awesome, Richard. Thank you again for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a great night. Alrighty, Martin. Well, as we wrap up the interviews, what are your thoughts on tonight's race?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's Dover. We had some good battles. We didn't get saddled with a ton of yellow flags. Wade dominated that race like he tends to dominate this stretch of the season. Like he said, we're basically coming into Hustad season now, where Michigan and Chicagoland, and then that stretch in the playoffs where he just dominated last year. But we had a lot of battles. We had a lot of movement in that top 10 and those top 5, like Eric Hutton, the Luckies, Thomas Harmon, Caden Honeycutt, all in there trying to battle. Logan McAnally had a good start to the race until things kind of went sideways for him. So overall, it was a good race. Just the one thing that gets me with these races right now is I wish a few more of our regular Cup guys would show up, because I'd like to see how they would race and push Wade Hustad, because at this point he's showing up every week, and he's going to be the cream of the crop, and we need some other guys to keep him honest.
Absolutely, and as we go into the next race broadcast on DRL TV will be tomorrow night for the DRL Grand National Series. They too are at Dover for 175 laps. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, as both you and I, Martin, will be competing in that one. The next race broadcast for this series will be next Monday, May 13th at 9:30 p.m. at Kansas Speedway for 200 miles. That is 133 laps. Looking forward to that, and see if Wade Hustad will be able to pull out a back-to-back win. Big shout out to everyone that pushed this league together. James Pandoff, the owner, James Pandoff with financial, Martin Wenzel and Jordan Gonzalez do all the graphics. Thank you, Martin, for everything that you do each and every week. Jordan and Martin for technical, James Pandoff for marketing. Broadcast. Without the broadcast, we wouldn't have DRL TV to put these races on each and every week for you, the viewers. David Wilborn Jr., Ryan Branch, Martin Wenzel, Getty Buckner, James Pandoff, Derek Pemberton, Eric Weatherholtz, and David Lindahl. Shout out to Chris James, Mike Springer, and the rest of them for doing last week's Grand National broadcast on short notice. Race control, we have Martin Wenzel, Getty Buckner, James Pandoff, Robbie Armstrong, Dakota Wilkins, Ryan Hasgard, Jeremy Hebel, Richard Springer, Eric Weatherholtz. Thank you guys for doing the race control. I know it takes a lot of time out of your days. Throughout the season, it adds up. It's a lot of work for you guys, and we appreciate you. Administration for the league, James Pandoff, Martin Wenzel, David Wilborn Jr., Getty Buckner, and Ryan Branch. Thank you guys for keeping this league in one piece and letting it run smoothly each and every week. Martin, any final words before we log off for the night?
Just tune in win tomorrow night and going forward the season. Honeycutt said it really well. Subscribe to DRL TV or Dynasty Racing League. I'm not sure what it is on YouTube. I think it's Dynasty Racing League. And get all of our races, watch them, comment in there, and let us know what you like about the broadcast, what you want to see, or and just cheer on your favorite driver. And you're always welcome to join if you're on iRacing and you want to join the league. We got the 3 series, we got the trucks, we got the Grand National, we got the Cup. So you're always welcome. So that's all I got.
Yep, you can send in a driver application on our website, dynastyracingleague.com, and we'll get back to you and find a spot for you on our roster so you can compete starting next week at Kansas. Also, you can check out our Facebook page, look up Dynasty Racing League, and be able to follow that and keep up to date with all of our broadcasts and info regarding races. And we do a lot of car screenshots so you can check out your favorite drivers, and should be a lot of fun tomorrow night, Martin. Looking forward to the 175 laps. Again, this is James Fandoff, Martin Winzel in the broadcast booth. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night.